start if there's any public comments. I don't have any comments.
You should go action time.
Emily, can you introduce yourself at least?
Absolutely. So, my name is Emily Richardson. I am the Director of School Performance and currently also the Director of Legal and Policy Affairs at the Indiana Charter School Board, which authorizes your school. And so we've been working closely with Joe on your pre-opening procedures. I just wanted to come and observe the board meeting before the opening of the school and see if there are any questions that you might have of us as your authorizer.
Thank you. Okay. We'll run through the approval of the June board minutes.
I'm having some technical difficulties. I'm trying to get it printed out for whatever, it's not connecting to my computer copier. So we can
Skip that.
we can skip that and
Okay.
come back to it.
Okay.
I'm working on it.
All right. So then will be to actually start up running through our next couple of sections here, including the charter school checklist.
It's right in the middle of the page. Grab and I'll look through that. Thank you.
Yeah, I brought one with me.
Say, before we run through this, and actually Joe will probably run us through most of this checklist, there's references here to the pre-opening visit that will be made by Emily, and I don't know if a couple of other members from her staff team, and that will take place on Friday the 25th, July 25th. That's going to take place that day.
What's that? I don't think so. All right, just take a rundown of all the things. I'm going to go through some things that are still outstanding, some things that we need to work on. Something that I need to do is just upload all the board minutes from the last few meetings. Emily can read those. Let's see. Next one, I think it's on page. Another thing that we need to do is make sure we have resumes from new board members added since the last meeting, and also I'll need information to run background checks as well. Before we leave tonight, make sure that we have, I'll send it out to remind everybody to send me their resume. I think I might have some, but then also information for that's weird. Yes. So, I think what I really need is from everybody who, new board members, just name, address, and social security number, and we can get that whole process going. It's still not printing, whatever.
Did you get ours from CFI? Because they do one already.
Okay, so I can just contact them and get it?
You should be able to.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll save money.
Yeah.
Because I assume they charge you to do that.
Yes, they do.
As long as it's recently,
Recent,
yeah,
mine's in the past 6 months.
that's absolutely fine. And then the other thing that we look for is a Department of Revenue check to know no outstanding tax or financial issues. So that is kind of a different looking process that we can talk to Joe if you want further guidance on that. Usually there's no problem. I'm not going to say that there hasn't ever been a problem. There has been.
I'm going to start calling another meeting from now on. I'm in Argentina.
Let's see. The next item that is, oh, by the way, I just got news today. Funny thing, the 501c3, we got a letter today saying that our status was revoked, and I called them up, and they said it took a time. They had to revoke it, and then they reinstated it, and they approved it today. The letter within 2 weeks.
So they revoked us before approving us.
Yeah. Yeah. So they went through the whole thing, and she said that we were sent that letter just as a paper trail of what was going on. So we're all good to go with that. So as soon as I get that in the mail, send that Emily's in, have it all squared. Yeah, I got if we don't even have.
I know, we don't even have one.
So we called, it took an hour to get somebody, but we're here with that, so that's good news. Let's see, I still need to add new board members' names to the website, and you know as well that Team CFA is redoing the website, so our website will change.
Okay.
I think the robot plan was like in September, I think it was, right around that time. So hopefully we'll be able to get on that and have all that updated and ready to go as soon as we can.
I think we'll have a preview of that next month to look at.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. By grade level, title is the administrative positions. We're fully staffed right now, so we have teachers for everything that we are good to go. It came right down to the last minute. We were able to find some good people at the last minute, fill some spaces that we needed. So we have that complete, ready to go. The teachers' licenses, I have copies of those, so they will be ready to look at on the site visit. So we'll have all that ready to go for the teacher licenses. Let's see, we have the agreement with I&I for the special education, and we also have a copy of our special ed teacher's license and all of our credentials and everything, so we have that ready to go. Let's see. Services, right now we don't have any students enrolled that require any kind of ELL services. Play that by ear. If we do, then we'll find somebody, but for right now, we don't.
And how do you typically know that? Is there a question that gets asked? Are they tested? Okay.
Okay. And do the request records and things like that. That'll.
Okay, that will let you know. Okay.
Let's see. The background checks for all the staff members, that'll all be complete by the site visit by next Friday, so we'll have all those ready to go and ready to review. Item number 14, the instructional materials, all of that stuff has been ordered, is on the way. We have a lot of it. The CKLA program, we have it all printed off, ready to go, because we're not actually purchasing it. We're downloading it from the web, because the teachers will be using more of the digital version than the paper version, so save us a lot of money there, because that's expensive to purchase. So we just had to print stuff off, which costs no much as it does to buy the actual materials from Amplify. So with that, see the school calendar, class schedules. That's complete. The next item, number 16, the staffing. All the positions have been filled, so we have all that complete, ready to go. The student handbook, number 17, will be doing the final approval tonight. Took the suggestions from Emily, made those revisions, and also from Ray. I took those and made those revisions as well, so that's all reflected in the staff and family, or the handbook. We had in the staff bios that they received today, the hearing, the IDA, Article 7 and FERPA, so that's all in the staff materials, so that's ready. The written assurance of the electronic data system, there's several things for written assurances. Excellent, I actually printed. Something, Emily, we basically just need a letter that's signed by the board saying that these things are in place.
Yeah,
correct?
Absolutely. It's really, really simple.
Okay. Those things, we have everything. We got the data management system for student records. All of our records for students with special needs, we have all the records request forms ready to go to submit to all the schools. We got all of the information for the special education students with their IEP and information, all that stuff. I actually ran that check, and they got all that stuff ready for us. So we have that complete. Let's see, the storage, electronic storage of all the student records and things like that. One thing we do have to do is for some of the file cabinets that were here originally, we have to get some locking system on the exterior that you can just kind of close and put a lock on it, because they locks on them, but we don't have the keys for them. So we're going to still reuse those things, but we'll make sure that we have a locking system on it so that it's locked up and secure. The health record, the same thing. I had a meeting with Eskenazi today, this morning. We talked a little bit about the plan moving forward, when we might be able to get services in, because they're still waiting to hear back from the Fairmax Foundation as far as if they're to provide the services and what capacity and things like that. So they're still working on that. They looked at everything that we have, and they said everything that we have here on site is adequate for what they need to do. We're good at that point. Let's see, the food service vendor stuff, item number 23. Everything is at the Department of Education. The food service vendor that we've selected, he's completed everything that he needs to on his end. We've submitted all of our paperwork on our end. Now we're just waiting from that final word of the Department of Education. So hopefully that'll be pretty soon. Let's see. We're now getting an agreement with transportation for anything we might have that might enroll with disability that requires, transportation or homeless students or something like that. So we're looking at different options. Number one, to have Miller Transportation provide the transportation services. So I'm working with them and developing an agreement with them so that we'll have ready to go. And we also have other services around, we have some partnerships with a few community organizations around the area that also would provide busing to and from the school. So we have some actions there, so we're working on that. Number 5, the safety procedures. That should be ready to go, so we're done with that. 26, the health services screening. Again, we're still in works with Eskenazi, and it's just kind of dependent on the Fairbanks Foundation as to what kind of fund level they're going to get. Let's see, updated school contact information that also will go in the letter of assurance. Yep.
Sorry, with this Eskenazi and the health, are we saying that Eskenazi is going to basically outsource a person to be here on site?
Yeah, so the model that they're proposing to use is a medical assistant that would be here on site.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would have a bus that they're actually retrofitting. They're doing some renovations within the bus so that it could be like a mobile office. So they have a nurse practitioner and an EMT on board that would come to the school and do the necessary checks and things like that for the kids. Okay. Rotating around
I think they have
like 8 schools. Different.
Yeah. And the nurse's assistant would be here though full-time basically?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And they'd probably be in that other room?
No, it would be in this.
Oh, in this area?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Let's see. Number 28. So we have the fiscal policies and procedures. That's complete. We have the assurance that we've contracted with the CPA firm or an accountant, and we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight, so that we can go with that. Number 20, the payroll system, that's been well. The next, the facilities, this is the part where we're still kind of working through right now. So 30, obviously we have the building we're seeing right now. So I think that's complete. One thing we're waiting on is the final lease from Team CFA Properties. So with Charlie Garcia minutes ago, and he said he'll be calling in in a little bit. About
I'm here.
Okay. So Charlie, you can tell everybody what we spoke about with regards to the lease and where we stand with that.
To complete the lease, we have to get Team CFA needs a total number. So I will have that complete by next week, and then we'll add all those numbers into the lease. A couple not outstanding, but questions where the facade back and along the side. We're going to roll that up. I talked to Joe about it into the lease. But if we get the facade grant, is that from the city or list? Who's that from, Joe? The facade list. So if we that, then we'll just use that money and lower the lease to reflect that. That could be up to how much, Joe? Is that up to $200,000 or $250,000?
Limit on it.
Okay.
I didn't see it on the number. We just had to submit our the actual proposal. Yeah.
We'll
They
have
look
next
at it.
week. So once we get all those numbers in, and Joe and I talked about, as long as we have it prior to the opening of the school, then we will have that lease in time. We're on a fast track of getting work done and accumulating accurate numbers. So that's what we're working on.
Quick, because if the lease is based on students, on that path where it would be based on the total number of students, then
Yeah.
why would that cost necessarily hinder the lease?
Go ahead.
Lease, my understanding is the lease, it's more, our lease is, so it will be dependent upon, it will be dependent upon how many students we have, but still there's going to be a lump sum. So we're less per student on the lease, but we'll have to catch it up in the back end. But it will be a lump sum.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. I see. Initially up front, let's say it's like $100 per student. And up front, right, to get us in there, lower cost, and then we'd be busting that out. Okay, got it. To catch up on this lump sum of whatever all these costs were. Okay, got it. Okay, thank you.
And it wouldn't up a whole lot because the project itself isn't really,
It hasn't very,
it's not expensive.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
so yeah, my understanding was, and I talked to Rupert Ryan Sadler at the conference, and we got a number of 70 per student.
Okay, so per student. Okay.
Hopefully the same number when it comes to
There.
for years. There, number 31 is about the insurance for the school. Right now what we're doing is I'm working with Gregory and Appel. We're updating all the insurance to make sure that everything is meeting the requirements by the state charter board. So we have that ready to go. That should be complete in the next week. We have all the coverage that we the inspection at the pre-opening site visit, reasonable accommodation of handicapped persons. We have, once the elevator is actually installed, we can use the whole building. We have ramps everywhere and all that kind of good stuff. So there's plenty of access throughout the entire building. Under rules of the Fire Prevention Building Safety Commission, we still make sure that we have that certification that can provide to us. The next item, number 33, those are all just all the permits. Since this was a school already before, a lot of those permits we just have to re-pull those permits and make sure that we have them ready to go, and it just has the list right here to go down the list. 34, the space is safe, secure, entrance and egress from the school adequately controlled. We'll make sure that everything is exactly in place by the time of the site visit next week.
One action item, and that would be on the lease, right? To ensure that, because prior to the school opening, we won't have a board meeting where we can come in and approve the lease. So what I'd like to do is working on the lease as well, but, maybe Paul, you can take a look at that as well, and maybe we delegate that to like a committee. We review it, and then the board gave basically the authority to myself and or committee to sign that lease. Would that be the board would be willing to entertain?
Yeah, Emily, this is Charlie. I think that if the board can agree to give the authority to the committee to make that decision, then because maybe it may be a 48-hour turn on that. So Paul, I don't know what type of conditions we might want to put on that subject too. But probably authority to the executive committee is my recommendation. So whatever you think.
That's what I'm doing.
Can we get, I would give the authorizing of the executive committee for the lease review or denial. Okay. That's the motion to authorize the executive committee to execute the lease. Review, execute the lease. It's passed. Anybody else? All favors say yes.
Yes.
Sorry. Anybody opposed?
Very good.
Actually, is there anybody else on the phone? Yeah.
Brian's on the phone.
Did you all vote by chance?
Said, and I heard the entire thing, yes.
All right, so we're good. Sorry, I'm maybe skipping, like I'm skipping votes, I mean.
Good job. Good job, Linda.
I would just like to say that this is a pretty intensive list, and I don't know if it's overwhelming to you or Joe, or even sometimes it's overwhelming to us. We read the research, and over and over and over again, it says that there has to be a bare minimum of operational savviness in order to open a successful school. So really, this is best practice, legal requirements from the state, and that's basically what's comprised in this list. This is, and I've been having bi-weekly phone calls, and then before that, every couple of months phone calls to check in on this list, and that will be the most interaction that Joe and I probably ever have, although you won't be rid of me. So really, we look at the pre-opening process as really the most hands-on time for us as an authorizer, and then we really take a step back and allow the school more autonomy and look at those student outcomes to guide us in our future actions. So just wanted to put that out there.
All right, we can do the...
Hey, this is Charlie. Unfortunately, I have to sign off. So, as the update on the facility, construction, what we're doing, and I will be there on the 25th for the walkthrough. So.
Thank you, Charlie. We appreciate that.
Thanks, Amy.
All
Appreciate
right,
it.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. I'm gonna write that down. So we have Josephine on the line and Beth. Beth? Or was he not?
He was.
Oh, he was. Maybe not, so. Okay. I don't know, Joe, about this phone system here. I thought it was gonna be better. It's gonna be better. We can hear.
This is awesome, comparatively.
Yeah, it's like a million times better than what it was.
All right. On to the custodial, actually, let's move on to approval of the June board minutes. I have a question. Was Joan still on our board?
Yes. She came off, this was last board meeting.
So my only correction would be that Joan had actually introduced the slating of the board members. It was Joan, right?
It was.
Or was it?
Yeah, it was,
Okay.
it was her. Yeah, I do remember that. Okay, I can change
All right.
that.
Yep.
As we speak.
Thank you for the additional.
Motion,
Sure.
the minutes of June 18th be approved with the noted correction.
All in favor?
Aye.
And Ben?
Just that.
Did you, Ben, oh, that's true, just Ben. Ben? Well, right? I wanna be here. You're electronic vote. All right, is there opposed to the motion? Let's deal with that. Can we move on something, even though one person?
We still have a quorum.
Okay, all right.
Here, guys. I'm here. I'm sorry. I was just having a hard time hearing. But I do approve with the noted changes.
I just want to make sure we don't overlook anybody, you know, like, I really want to make sure we've got everybody. Okay, is there anybody that disagrees with the motion? No? Okay. With that, to approve the board meeting minutes from June 18th is approved. Okay. So our next order would be the review of the custodial services,
Yes, there are. This is just a summary of everything.
Okay.
I do have the actual agreements themselves, just on their thing,
Okay.
as far as like service provided and all that kind of stuff. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. The last few, the last two on that list just came in and asked if they could give a proposal. I was like, sure, why not? They're ordered in their order of my recommendation of who we was. When they're professional grade services, they actually clean the national apartments over there, and they're very clean. I've been over there multiple times. They do a really good job over there. So the least expensive, the next option would be Clean It, which was $1,330 per month. The carpet cleaning to get everything up and going. This refers to like the deep cleaning of the school before we actually open, with the carpet cleaning, the floors, all that kind of good stuff. They're a little bit more expensive on that end, especially with the stripping and waxing the floors. Lynn Hills is another one. They were the most expensive by far, so I definitely don't recommend using them. And there's another one there was Clark's Cleaning Services. Again, he just came in and just gave numbers, so I thought I'd throw it in here just to see. His name's Moises. He actually lives in the area, and he stopped by the school one day and just asked if we needed any cleaning services. I was like, yeah. And he said, can you give us a proposal? I said, sure. So he actually just gave us a number. There's no actual like paperwork agreement or anything like that. So my recommendation would be to go with the professional grade services, and if you take a look at the actual, I can grab that for you, no problem.
Are they, just curious, out of these four, are they in the area? I'm assuming Moises is, but no.
I think they are. I think they're, because they stop, because they do the apartments over here, so they're.
Isolated, nice to use some of the neighborhood, but not the price.
Exactly, exactly. I completely agree, yeah.
I want to know what Lynn Hills is doing that's 4 times better than.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are they putting new flooring in? Or what?
For me included, because this only includes the bottom level, the first floor? Okay. And it first includes both.
It doesn't.
Oh, okay. Then I don't know what she's doing. Or, yeah, got it. Okay. Well, I completely agree. I just thought I'd ask if they were from the area. Not ideally, it's great to have somebody from the area, but triple the cost.
I think those we're getting a break because they already have to come next door. A lot of equipment over here to do it anyway.
So it's carpet cleaning and floor washing, is that a monthly fee?
is the one-time fee for the beginning, just to get it done for a school opening, and that is something that we would do, periodically throughout the year. If probably the stripping and waxing the floors, we might have to do a couple times a year, to keep those looking nice. The nice is all the floors are concrete, so there's really not a whole lot of maintenance you got to do to them. The carpet cleaning will probably be probably a once a year type thing. So no, it's not a monthly cost.
So we know regardless of when they'll be done, this is the price that would be quoted,
Yes.
even.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking deep cleaning, we're not talking about vacuuming,
No.
deep cleaning.
Did these, the bids go out, were they word of mouth, or was there some kind of public application?
A few. I reached out to Lynn Hills, reached out to those two. Professional Grade Services actually stopped over here one day after they got done over at the apartments and asked about it. Clark Services, they came in and wanted to give us a proposal, and so did Moises Grande.
So I've seen some of Professional Grade Services work.
Oh, yeah.
Over there.
Yeah, because we used before we could get into the building, we went over there and used a lot of their stuff. And I go over there all the time because we have a really good relationship with the apartment, so.
That we go with Professional Grade Services, it seems to be just economically smart. And then if they already are doing someone next door, it seems that it would be more feasible for them to be able to come over here for you and do that. That we actually approve them for our cleaning services.
Can I ask a quick question? Public entity? We're charter, right? We still call. We're not. I was going to ask if the contract has to go out for public bid.
It does if it's over a certain amount. For this limited amount, it should, you don't have to do a request for proposal.
Yeah.
You can just get 3 bids. I forget what I don't remember what the dollar amount is, but I think it's like maybe $75,000.
This is way
But I should look that up and tell you, Joe, because that's a question that's going to come up on my list of things to do.
For repair program, we have to go to bid if the work is over $1,000. And that's different than this. I don't know if that number is that high, 75.
For ours,
Had a question?
have they given you a proof of insurance of any of these folks?
Yes.
Okay. Just wanna make sure.
This is one of them, they're bonded and insured, I assume, if they're doing apartment buildings, they're bonded and insured.
Yeah.
I mean, I second it pending that we see actual proof that they're bonded and insured. But you've seen it, that's good enough.
Yeah.
Vote, we had the motion and a seconded. So all those in favor, say yes. Awesome. All those in favor, say nay. I don't hear it. With the motion passes to approve the proposal of Professional Grade Services.
And I have the actual agreement in the other, in my
Okay, great.
afterwards.
Okay.
Just a big packet, and a copy of it for everybody.
Similar to this one here for the wireless network contract approval.
Yeah, that was the, yes,
The email where everybody's input was shared.
right.
Appreciate
So, so this is, and I provided a copy of the email, so, and everybody's, information there, so we can just take a look at it again. The recommendation was to go with the NetTech with the Meraki option. The most expensive, but it's the most versatile among all the other options. And in the long run, it'll actually, it will cost less, because we can add to the system, and it's more user-friendly. Plus, when we, the option that I liked about with Meraki is the fact that they can remotely log into the system and repair anything that they need to without actually having to come on site. So when we have our IT people, if they have service work repairs on that, they can actually do it on site, so that we don't have to we won't get charged for their travel to and from the school. So, long run.
An IT agreement, is that something that we think we would need on something like this? Or does that differ from what you've received, Joe? I know you had an IT agreement that you shared.
Yeah, my preference, and I'm for the county team runs similar businesses, I'm sure, but if I want to know how much, if they got to come out on site, how much it costs. We got to call them during certain hours, does it cost extra? Yeah, if we call them, how soon are we going to get? If we call 8:30, network's down, well, we'll try at 4. The school doesn't, less sitting on our hands. I guess I'd like some specifics outlined. That would be my, provide that to Joe's comfort, then I'm all in favor of it. Technology.
And I've been working with the Crossroads Business Solutions. They've been fantastic through this whole thing, and we would work on an hourly agreement because we wouldn't need them all the time since there's really nothing to do when they get up and going. I'm really with networking too, so I'm more than likely to be able to troubleshoot a lot of things right here on site myself before I have to call somebody. So
Also, we're not 24 hours, so it's not like you're going to be calling them at midnight and encouraging
right.
huge fee.
Yeah.
So let's pretend network's down the second day of school. What can the teachers do in the classroom?
We'll still have if the wired network shouldn't really be affected.
Okay.
Because that's all hardwired in. The wireless network might go down, and if it does happen, we still have the capability in the classrooms. Everything can be hardwired in to all the walls, because that already does exist in the building. So we can continue on teaching just like normal without any issue.
It's a huge cost if they can't do it for 2 days.
No.
I would just know the comfortability with their time, because they can remote in here, but what if they're having issues with their own equipment? And so the response time, or the percentage of time that they're actually up, being down or have a track record of having issues or, but as long as you're comfortable with knowing the other end of the cloud issue, then, I think you're in good hands. So.
Yeah.
So, if there's discussion, nobody has any further questions, make a motion then to approve the. Josephine, was that you by chance?
That was, Ben.
Oh. And, do you have a question? All right, well,
So yeah,
we can have a motion to approve the
Meraki option.
Meraki option for the wired and wireless network contract.
So that's the one that says 12,000 next to it?
Yes.
Okay. I'll just approve it.
Second?
Great. All of those in favor of the motion that carried of approving the second option, Meraki of 12,000, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Here, the passes to approve the Meraki contracts for 12,000. All right, we've got the student and family handbooks that Joe mentioned as part of the checklist that we need to approve.
Yep, those are approved. I have them copied and ready to go, and
So they incorporated all of the copies.
was that pretty easy fixes. It wasn't really.
It was very good to start out with.
To approve the student family handbook. I think that's the prize, right? Student family handbook.
Great. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm just abstaining because I've never read it. So, I'm sure.
Still got managers.
I assume it will be posted on your website.
Yep.
All right. Move on to the new hire approval.
So the next list should be the new hire approvals. And it just outlines all of the people that we have offered positions to, their salary, and when start date.
Is the one instructional assistant working like less than the other instructional assistant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 3 days a week.
I just wondered.
No, we got a really good deal on her.
Otherwise, that's what it's
She's actually a licensed teacher.
Yeah.
She's been out of the classroom for 2 years. Yeah. And she wants to kind of gradually work her way back in. So she's 3 days a week, 4 hours a day. So.
Questions?
We already got everybody's, all these folks, for criminal checks and all that good stuff.
That's it.
There were the kindergarten, was those like posted positions as well, or?
Yeah, we did a lot of recruiting this
A
time.
lot? Okay.
A lot of interviews too.
Well, this is what the idea was as far as the total amount of teachers that it would be.
Yeah, this is everything.
Grade per one per grade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With the exception of, and we may have to, second, first grade class. So maybe for another person.
That's great. Want to ask questions? I hope you'll send from your director's report. That's really good.
Are there, what benchmarks do we look at before you start hiring additional people? I mean, do we need a certain number of kids?
Yeah, ideally what I would do is, I wouldn't open up a second class until we at least have 40, so we can put 20 in each class, because other than, if we don't hit that 20 mark, it doesn't work.
I'll move to approve the new hire. July 16th, 2014 report.
Do we have a second? Okay. Yeah.
You have to sign one of them, you have it?
Yeah,
Okay.
so we can pass one around.
Yeah. Then we'll approve it by signature, you don't have to vote on it.
You don't?
I don't think so. Unless you want to sign it.
That way.
For the board members not physically present, I will send it out electronically, you can sign electronically.
And electronic signatures are fine, correct? Okay.
You have enough signatures on there, even if they don't want to sign, even if you don't have their signatures, as long as you have quorum.
Oh, okay, okay, all right. Okay. So now we're moving on to the Easter seals,
We're gonna scratch that one.
Oh, we are? Okay.
The reason why we're scratching that one is because, I had a meeting with INI, and, part of the deal is that they included, in the agreement, the third party, the speech, occupational therapy, and all those services. But then it said that there was a provision in there that we could do a third party. So with Easter Shields, because I've experience with them, they've done a really good job. And I talked to, and they said we're already paying for it. So unless we charge double, so I was like, well, no, we don't want double. So.
Good catch.
Yep. So you're already paying for it, they're already paying Easter seals, or they're?
No, they have somebody that comes in and provides those services.
All right. All right. Simple. Moving on to Kelly Services. contract approval for the substitute teachers.
Yep, so substitute, we more than likely, we won't be able to really have to utilize them unless we have multiple people out in a day. We have, Tina can sub in for a class, Tara can sub in for a class for a day. I could even step in if need be. If we have more than, I would say probably 2 people out, which likely, I mean, really probably wouldn't happen on a regular basis. We wouldn't really need their services a whole lot. But if you go back to the page that had the janitorial on it, I just provided the number at which we would be charged per day for a substitute teacher if we need it.
I have no idea.
Is it, okay?
And then probably schools, so.
Do we sort of criminal background on?
They do all that.
They do that for us and provide that to us, okay.
This is a temp service for teachers, basically, right?
Yeah, so we call them up. If we need somebody to come in, we call them up, and then they send somebody over.
I know one school that has done their own substitute pool. There's a lot of different requirements. So you have to get a substitute teacher license, which has certain requirements, and then of course have to do the criminal background check. There can be a liability associated with it. Most charter schools do go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, if you're in a pool, you've got to maintain that. People can kind of come in and out of it, and then, that would not be good. The services contract for substitute.
Seconded.
All right. All those in favor of approving the Kelly Services contract, say aye.
Aye.
Josephine and Ben, are you on the call still?
I approve.
Okay, perfect. Any who oppose? The motion passes to approve Kelly Services contract for substitute teachers. Now we get into our audit services for the independent auditor.
So I should have forwarded those on to everybody, right? Get a chance to look at them. I wasn't going to copy them all because it's a lot of stuff. Did I have recommendations as to what I wanted to do?
So I can give some background on this as well, because I assume you forwarded them the contracts that I sent you. So in the past, our schools have had to solicit their own bids for this pre-name check. And what it's designed to do is before you hit a certain amount of state dollars, we want to make sure that your financial policies and procedures are in check because of the public dollars that are associated with charter schools. So what we did last year, and the contracting process takes forever at this state, so it's been a while since we actually got bids, we decided that economies of scale might work for an advantage for our schools. So we solicited bids for not only an independent auditor's report for these policies and procedures, but also for auditing services and some other types of services like a federal single audit. And we have created an umbrella contract, which then you go in and define the scope of work and can contract for a set price that we received because of the economy of scale. So my recollection on the independent auditors' reports is the bids looked somewhere from about $1,500 to $2,000, and they basically review your policies and procedures and answer somewhere between 7 and 10 detailed questions. Is a savings or what our schools had before. Usually it's close to $4,000. So hopefully that will be helpful.
You're fairly new to the process, right?
Yeah, you can look at, I could send you their actual responses, our RFS, if you think that will be helpful. All four of, so we received 6 bids. 5 bids and then 4 bids actually went through the contract. So one contractor dropped out of the process.
but I would say that, I'm not gonna endorse any specific, group to contract with. I think that all of them meet the bar that would meet services. So whether it's a matter of cost or, one thing that might be helpful is to reach out to them and see what the timeline for completion is. So we will receive $50,000 in state tuition support, which I expect, given your, how many did you submit in May for enrollment?
Actually, 50, maybe.
So you'll probably be making, with tuition support payment, $18,000?
Haven't got it yet.
Oh, it's processing right now. They send it out on Monday. I'm not in charge of any of the money, so don't think me. But so our threshold is $50,000. So once you receive $50,000 from the state of Indiana, then that's when we expect to receive the independent audit service. So time is of the essence, and you should probably talk and see about availability of the contractor. So options here is, if you feel comfortable with Joe making that decision, you could delegate that decision to him, or you could delegate it to the executive committee, or you could even say, okay, this is something we're going to table for our next meeting.
Or it really just doesn't?
No, they're all pretty similar. So,
I'll give the word to Joe.
Just a review. Right now, I wanted everybody's feedback to kind of see what thoughts were, if anybody had, any kind of insight on something like that. So.
I like what you recommended in the fact that we could possibly just reach out to them again and say, hey, what will be the timeline between, options you have just to see.
The audits get done.
Auditing is starting to happen now. So they're due to the State Board of Accounts by January 1st, and then they'll be due to us by January 15th. Of course, that's a year and a year, so you guys won't have an audit due to us until January 15th of 2016, which is...
Yeah.
But you need it for the $50,000. Once you...
Right.
You have to have one for them to pay you the money.
Got it.
So the independent auditor's report is something that we look at, and that's just policies and procedures, versus another audit, which is the actual audit of the school year funds, which is a requirement of state law and of the charter.
Okay.
An initial.
Yeah. The nice thing about that is if you don't like the people to do the initial one, you can shop around for somebody else.
Absolutely.
It's not unusual.
On the other side, that they switch.
It's not terribly unusual for office, schools, whatever, to switch auditors every so often because they just get tired of dealing with this. Or the find is initially to get your business, they'll do it really cheap, and then the price creeps up, and then you'll find someone else that's willing to do it for a lower price. And since we're a charter school, we'll do it for the lower price as long as it's good.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Right.
So it's basically who Joe's comfortable with, because we're not. Barely of us are ever going to interact with the auditor. God.
Yep. And I will say that interactions with Captain McGladry, McGladry's newer to the city overall. So experience, I do think Cap probably has just, I think again, doesn't work because I didn't deal with them on the public sector of charter schools. But my interaction in dealings with Cap, I do think that they would probably be more qualified, but again, I don't know the team that they're going to put in front. So, yeah. But this is on the corporate side that I dealt with them on, so I really have no idea what it was like on the not-for-profit side. So, where do we stand? Are we in?
I'll make a motion to delegate
Yeah.
the decision to Joe.
Okay.
I second that.
What total cost?
We need a motion? Is this under, I thought we said we had to, board approval on but
Yeah.
we've got that in writing, right? Yeah,
Minutes.
I've always operated under that at some point. Okay. So we'll go ahead and pass the motion? We don't, yeah, might as well, okay. So all in favor of the motion to delegate the, review and to approve the audit services?
Aye.
To Jeff, okay. Any opposed? Okay. Let's run the May and June financial.
We don't have the May ones because they had to go back and fix a few things. But we did get the June one. So, yeah, because they're working backwards. They had to work, they did the current ones first. The current ones first, and they're working their way back because they had to reclass a lot of the grants because they were putting them in wrong areas, and I caught them, and I've been working with them diligently to have it fixed. So we're getting there. So a few items on here we need to, like, anything that says general fund should not be there because we don't have a fund. With bookkeeping to fix that. Luckily, there's only, well, I only see two items.
On Best Buy, I know this came up last time, you get out of the sales tax.
Yeah, I said to send them the, number, they'll just keep it on file for the future if they ever need like me.
Yeah, I mentioned
like,
the 5
yeah.
there, I'm like, wasn't there something from the last meeting that was continuing on that? Yeah.
Yeah, because I asked them, I said, we're a school. I said, we're a non-profit, we just don't have the paperwork yet. And they're like, well, we can go ahead and do this for now, but you just make the paperwork. Cool. Excellent. Yep. We'll have it in a couple weeks, and then off soon, we'll be good to go.
Excellent. All those in favor of approving the financials as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, with that,
Sign off on the financials.
Oh, they're supposed to be up
Do we have one that I'm missing here?
yes, here it is. Yeah, they copied with you, so you have to turn it this way. Here's the one, and then these are the payroll.
Is that for May?
This is for June.
oh, is that what we're signing? Sorry.
Yeah, June. Yeah, this is one to sign. The one's not stapled to sign.
Just sign them right here. Got it. My knowledge is right away.
Yeah, that's,
So, okay, so we're signing one or two?
there's two of them, there should be two. There should be one on that side.
All right, moving along, the preschool discussion with Cynthia.
Yeah, so Cynthia was at the previous, the board meeting last month. She spoke a little bit about what she's doing. She gave a call a couple weeks ago, maybe it was, and she said that she actually completed all of her classes before she thought. So she has completed all of her licensure classes for the preschool. Right now, she is in the position. All she needs is to have the state come through and do an inspection of the facility to make sure that everything's up to where it needs to be, and then she'll be issued her license. Yeah, so she wasn't messing around when she said she's going to get on.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm impressed by that, and she's been, she's come in a couple of times, and she's just, I mean, she's a fantastic person. really nice. Did all the things that she was gonna do, so,
Have we had anybody take a look at if we're risking the school's property tax exemption by having a for-profit?
looked into that, yeah.
You may send that to Ray.
Just to make up all that last point, will you be looking into that, Jim, on that for-profit piece?
I'm gonna send that to her.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
So, she's ready to move whenever, they give her the green light. So, like I said, all she needs to do is have people come in and inspect, say that she can open up. If anything that needs to be corrected or anything like that, need to be fixed, but I don't think there would be.
Just a question, Joe. With this would be a sublease, right?
Yes.
So making sure that it works in the lease, looking CFA, and if they have to approve it, that that's done. And I think that the lease will give you the shield from for-profit.
Okay.
That is the explanation, though I have not looked at any case law, and will not be.
Her potential start date, if she could get everything here and she needs to do, could be as early as September. I'm saying more November-ish.
And she's in the court office.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Everything, and she's really excited about it.
Yeah, I like her quite a bit.
Yeah.
Really good personality. She has a lot of experience working in other operating schools out of some other schools.
Yeah, I think she'll be great. Really good.
And she's starting first day of school and do our before and after school care as well.
So what is before?
6:30 to 7:30
Okay.
in the morning, from
The
4 to 6 in the evening.
Okay.
No, yeah, it was like $5 or something like that.
Yeah.
$20. It's $5 a day or $20 a week. That's what she started.
Oh, both before and after.
Yeah, I would definitely.
Wow.
Here's my $80.
Exactly.
School age, right?
Yeah, no.
You'd be surprised what people pull. Here's my outfit, I'll come in a minute.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Now, before will we additional approvals just thinking next steps for us as it relates to Cynthia?
Yeah.
Do we need to approve, like a contract with her?
I think, I would approve a contract. We have to make sure that the lease agreement includes something that we can do it. We have to work up.
We don't wait to vote on that until she has to be.
Yeah.
My guess is
She's not gonna be in here next time without us knowing.
We had this issue come up in North Carolina, and I know unless they've added it to the lease, and I'm trying to remember what we talked about in the governance committee meeting, but there's an element in North Carolina, and I know that they got close with some people, and so the last lease that I saw, lease for property, didn't have anything about subleasing it. So that's probably something you need to talk to them about, because I don't know if they've inserted it in everybody.
Yeah, let's make sure first.
Yeah.
I'll make note of that.
That might be a Rupert question, or
Yeah.
But we know she's serious. We know that she's engaged.
Yeah.
She's done all that work within a month time frame.
Absolutely. To think about just in the long term, and this would probably be something to think about during your agreement, is that there is a preschool voucher program that will be implemented in 2015.
Yep.
And it's highly likely that Marion County will be chosen as one of the counties. So it might be something that IE wants to start fighting itself, as it would be qualified to do it. So sign a 5-year agreement.
I would prefer just like a year, just in case.
just the average agreement for her.
Yeah. quality.
Yeah.
We'd have to work our way up, basically. So we were talking about at that last meeting the education meeting.
Right.
A lot of the path to quality thing revolves around the actual physical space. Because as I went through that list, because I wasn't really familiar with it until I was looking through it, but a lot of it is has to do with the physical space of having things provided and things like that. And luckily, being in a school, we'll have most of that stuff already covered. So.
As a public school, you don't have to have that same type of licensure. So you're eligible to provide pre-K to students on a bachelor level just by the nature of being a public school.
Okay, are there any further questions? All right, we'll move to the building renovation update.
So can I let her know that she can bring people in?
Oh,
Get her license? Okay.
I think that's fine.
Okay, perfect. I will let you be excited. Yes, facilitation update. Let's see, it's actually in the report, which we'll go into next, so might as well just go ahead and take a look at it. Let's see. So if we look, the first page here, downtown towards the bottom, the facilities, the demolition, the adjacent warehouse is pretty much complete. There's still a few little things that they have to do to complete everything. There's some like little holes in the concrete and things like that to just repair. With the agreement, the holes where the pillars were that held up the structure, they removed those, and part of the agreement when we purchased buildings that the owner would repair those, so it's all flush. So I don't think there's anything there that we would need to incur additional costs. That's the owner's responsibility, the previous owner's responsibility to fix. We fill in where that loading dock was that went down. We're going to fill it in. I've talked to Charlie about it, and he said that we'd fill in where we cap it with concrete, and then we'd extend the wall across and close off that entrance. Use the other entrance that actually goes up onto the area for the parking lot. And then Charlie said he's going to bring in some dirt along that side, the building to level all that out so that it's flush with the rest of the ground, so that people can pull in. Right when you come across the monorail, there's that little driveway that kind of goes back, so people come in that way, and they would put gravel down so that they could pull into the parking lot there. So there'd be a side entrance to the parking lot, and then the exit would come out on 22nd Street. So that's where we're with that. And then also, doing those necessary repairs and making it look nice, like a parking lot, fixing some of the walls that kind of come up a couple of feet. Let's see, thanks to Rosanna Fire Extinguishers and Emergency Lights Service and Repair.
Nice.
That was a very nice surprise. They just come in one day and it's like, hey, we're here to do this. It's like, great. I like that. They came in and I think yesterday they completed all that. So good to go. We have all the documentation that we can provide. They sent that to me today. Yep, so that is complete and done. The alarm system mostly complete. They installed the new swipe pad, the new swipe thing, so you can in the building that way. They still have to install a mechanical lock on the door, 22nd Street there. That's it. Oh, so they have to install that door lock, and then there's that issue there. They forgot swipe thing, whatever it's called, in the main core. The double sets of doors. They got stuck.
Oh, yeah.
Because you get through the first set of doors, but you can't get through the second. Yeah.
Try it again. Now walk around. Right back there.
Yeah, at least the gate was open, though.
The gate was open. I'm off the corner.
Plan is nearly complete. That's all that needs to be done. Exterior doors, they've all been rekeyed and repaired, so we're good to go there. So that anybody who has the keys from the previous they can no longer get into the building if they want to. Let's see. Now we're just waiting to have the interior door locks repaired so that all the keys work all the keys work, it's just some of the locks are loose and things, so they got to tighten them up. Let's see, it was installed in the office right next door. That was just concrete floor before that was installed, done, complete. The painting is almost completely done. They're on their very last room upstairs, so that'll be complete. The only thing they have to do next when the walls are constructed is paint the walls. And then probably going to begin work on the facade as soon as we get the numbers in from Charlie. We can apply for that grant if we get it. Because they'll fix the stuff that's kind of crumbling off the side of the building too. Let's see. We still have the 2 classrooms on the very far end of the building. There's 1 AC unit that's still on the roof. It may need to be replaced because they can't get it. It's just like it's continuously running. He said that whoever worked on it before really did a lot of damage to it because they just kind of did some temporary fixes to it to just keep it running. But after sitting for 2 years without building, it just burned up the unit. Everything else works fine. So that's the only unit that need additional repair or will need additional report. The office baseboard installation, that will all happen along the base of the wall. As soon as the office walls are complete, as soon as it's done, they'll come back and fix all that. It's already been taken care of and paid for, so we're just waiting on the walls to be done. The deep clean after everything's done, make sure we come in and clean all the carpets and all that kind of good stuff. The wired and wireless networking, all that stuff needs to be still complete, so they're getting on that right away. I think they said it should all be complete by the end of next week. Full coverage of internet access throughout the entire building. Right now, it's just the office area. The adjacent warehouse roof repair, so the warehouse right across the courtyard, there's a roof that's missing some holes, and what's happening is when it rains really hard, the water gets back in behind and it leaks into our building. So, we're repairing and sending them the bill. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Charlie's taking care of that, make sure that gets done. He said, we'll just fix it, send them the bill, and they'll pay it. All right, whatever needs to get done. So plumbing fixtures in the first floor classrooms, that's there are drinking fountains in the classrooms on the first floor. When they installed them, they didn't put a trap at the bottom, so it operated like that for a couple of years. And some days you walk in the classrooms, you smell the sewer gas. So I can't what it must have been like when school was operating. But it's a quick fix. Charlie said it cost $2 to fix. So in a couple hours. So that'll be done. He said by Friday. Let's see, the shaft construction, that'll be started. Charlie asked if it would be okay. We talked earlier today that it started after a walkthrough because they have to come through and jackhammer out the concrete floor. So that it's being, but we just didn't want to have a big investment.
I think that there's no problem in delaying it even further as long as if a student comes in with handicapped issues that you have an accommodation plan.
We're only using the first floor anyway, so.
Absolutely. So I think that that's not even a prior action that we're worried about.
Well, the thing is the shaft will be constructed before school starts, and then we have a schedule in November, our first extended break. They'll come in and actually install the elevator. Should be completely installed then.
Great.
Flip the page, the wall build. Those are to be done really quickly. Exterior touch-up and resurfacing of the and also the 2 walls. So there's the wall on the west side of the building where the warehouse was attached to. That will all be resurfaced. And then the wall that's on the south of that as well will be touched up so it matches the rest of the building. Ugly.
With the finish of the shaft taking place until November, how does it impact our lease? Is those not some of the final costs that are going to go into the lease?
Yeah, those will all go into the lease. We just
now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it'll all be taken care of now, and
okay.
because it takes time for the elevator to actually be.
Okay.
Yeah.
It costs the same now.
The labor and all that, they're not gonna, okay.
There's a give in the lease. round number.
Okay. Okay, all right.
All right, now on to the rest of the report. Operations and staffing, we are completely staffed, and you can see the list of people there we have with the different levels, the administrative staff and non-certified staff as well. I've been working on that to make sure that we have everything covered. We're on track. Even if we just get 115 students rather than the 125, we'll still have a surplus of 61, 112. We're still looking really good at that. And that comes up with initial money that we had, and for the lease of the building was considerably more than what it's actually going to be. So we got some extra money on that. So we're good to go. Current staffing, as long as we hit 115 students, which we will, we've had kids enroll in the last 2 weeks.
I think so. We're gonna be a lot more higher than
It should be fantastic.
Yeah.
So on the first grade, are we saying 33 kids in one classroom?
No, that's one we'll have to have two, there will be 2 classrooms there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So these application proceeds, so we take all these kids.
Yes.
Now, we're still set, when do we stop taking applications? Or do we take applications until the day of school starts?
Oh, yeah.
We all realize, and I'm not telling Joe anything he doesn't know, but there will be a certain percentage of these fine people that will not show up on the first day.
Yeah, right.
And
So
it's like,
we're-
what, 15% about?
Yeah, so we're over enrolling a little bit. Like with second grade, 28, we may have had a couple, this is.
I think we have 2 more today.
Yeah, so we had 4 people come in and enroll today, so.
But even the number that we're projecting down, I understand from Jim, in taking in the 15% that aren't gonna come, you're okay with the number?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
so you'll take, you won't,
Right.
but.
Yeah. So like, for example, with the second grade, that puts us up to, if 2 came today, that puts us up to 3. We're gonna stop there because, 5 people won't show up. So.
It was 2 second grade, a third, and a kindergarten, or first and kindergarten.
First in kindergarten.
I think first the last one, kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
That's a product of people applying to multiple charters, right?
There are some that have, and then we've been talking with those people very frequently, and most of them, they've said that we're their final choice, and they brought in all the paperwork and stuff. That's the we've engaged with them too, so we have ongoing conversations, and later this week, I'm gonna make sure that all of the teachers actually call the families and introduce themselves. So we're just trying to be on them.
Yeah. And the reason we said we have 2 classes because we've got the pod, right? Okay, just wanted to remember how that was gonna work. I'm like, well, I got 33 kids, how in the world? But you're right, you've got the pod. So that's the piece that's gonna be a rotational piece. Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
Really close with that thing. So that's all good. Let's see. Oh, with just the new enrollment, we attended, Stephanie and I attended the Children's Bureau Family Day on last Saturday. It was raining out, but it was under 10, so we were lucky there. We actually we enrolled 10 new kids just at that event. Phelan Leadership Academy was right next to us at the table. They only had 1 person enroll. So that was, so I thought we did pretty good. So I thought we did pretty good. School's next big one is the back to school barbecue. That's 12-3.
That's the kind of stuff, Joe, you want board members to come to. I know it depends on the school director, but.
Yeah, I mean, you guys come to whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
12-3. Yeah, so we're working on a location. We're thinking, we would like to, I don't know if we would here, or if we might move it to like we were to Douglas Park, because there are always a ton of people over there.
Sure.
It could be additional exposure for us. We have a big showing of people that come out, and it could pique some other people what's going on over there. So it could be another, almost like an enrollment type thing, marketing thing.
A lot more traffic over at Douglas.
Yeah, yeah. there's always, every single day.
Yeah.
We would go through the, yeah, yep. So I didn't
Get two students, it's totally worth it.
one to be worth it.
One student, yeah.
One to be worth it.
But your point's valid, Drew, and I do think it's important that we know, because we don't want to bombard you by always up at everything.
Well, that's like I asked you today, I'm like, hey, I'm actually early, can I walk around the school? If you had said no, I'm busy, hey, fine by me, it's your school.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I'm fine. I'm open. I don't try to hide from anybody, so that's the way I've been. You can come.
I think that'll be important, because even as the school opens, maybe once a quarter, it'd be nice if somebody from the board just kind of walked around or had some interaction and just to kind of see what's going on.
And I think that's important too, just because with our whole model, we want to be part of the community and be that kind of resource, so really just knowing what's going on and being part of that.
And I'll just tell you right now, Connie will come and sit in the classes. Okay, I just wanted you to know that, because she didn't tell you, she will.
Okay. Just want to make sure we don't pass the line,
No,
right?
no, no,
People are
no.
comfortable,
Yeah.
or parents begin to see you so much that you're getting complaints from parents, and it's not our
that's
job
right.
to field the parents' complaints, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just a piece where I'm like, I just want to make sure we don't cross the line, but that we're involved, because we're really interested in what's going on.
Like opening day, out and so we're working on because Stephanie's a veteran. Funny thing I learned about her today, she's jumped airplanes 26 times. Yeah. So either her or Karen, our third grade teacher, her husband is an Army Ranger. Either between the two of them, they're going to have see if they can have either the National Guard or somebody to come and actually raise the flag for the first day.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
As for being in the classroom and now being in all of them, it'd be nice to have the board members in and throughout the day, because I know it was always like, who's that person walking around the building? It's just, once you know your face, it's kind of that less intimidation factor of, just because the stigma of your face as a school board as a different entity. It would be really nice to have the board, I think.
I think all teachers are new to charter school.
Yeah.
They understand, because some of them come from, the traditional district schools, so they don't understand.
You're not that word that's overseeing. You hear so much on the news in the city, there's a lot about how there's the school board overseeing everything. Like, you guys are there to help, it's not that separate.
Yeah. Okay. We'll take that, and I think on that, so that we get involved with this. I do think that'd be great. Okay.
When we're doing outreach type things, get them and help out and that sort of thing. Like, Rosemary came to the spring cleanup day, which was the really success. Yep. Like that, I would certainly appreciate it. Is there anything that I skipped over?
Foreign language on the report.
Oh, yeah, back to grants and fundraising. So, one that I thought about, maybe it was a year and a half, was, since we're doing the whole blended learning model, if we can find a really good foreign language program that can be delivered online to kids, that could be something that we could offer. And it costs money, and we don't have that in our budget. So I was wondering, just thinking about the idea of seeking out some people who might be willing to donate, so we could provide a foreign language for kids. I know we're looking, there's various things that we could do. I mean, my thought was my goal over time, and this obviously isn't going to happen for years, but over to be able to, offer such as the universal, everybody takes Spanish, so everybody has, that foreign language, in kindergarten, first, second grade, so that they have that. And then, the students would have a choice of a second language. They could study, and then once we get to 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, part of what they'll be doing is, what part of the whole classical model is Latin. So they would be having some Latin classes too. So say, yourself and say, I can speak languages and I can understand Latin. Huge asset for people.
Yeah, we're talking about teaching English as a different language, not ESL.
And then we could also flip that too, if we have an ESL population coming, we can also offer online English classes too, so that could be something that we could do as well.
Not-for-profit
I was gonna say
organization.
there'd be a grant, you would think there'd be a grant that would cover something like this.
Yeah.
If you haven't found it.
I mean, there's several businesses downtown that definitely market themselves.
Yeah.
Like, I know that Vanessa Lopez is a lawyer, and I graduated with her, she's fluent, and that's half her. Yeah, that she markets to that group, so even, some of those businesses all pony up, and they can say,
Yeah.
it's good public relations for them.
Yeah, if you know of anybody who, get me into contact with them, and we'll go from there.
Yep. With that, I guess we move on to the conference wrap. And we're behind schedule, but given all the approvals we had to do tonight, I think we're...
2 minutes isn't bad.
Say good night to everyone.
Good night.
This is Josephine signing off.
Good night.
The conference, if you guys, it was I don't know who called. Ben, are you still on the line? Ben called me up and, because with the hotel, when you guys enter, when you got to the hotel, put the credit card information and I think they billed your credit card.
Yep.
So if you can give me, the receipt, the statement for your, credit card, and then also, I still need the flight. Yeah. If I can get that. Yeah, so if you give me all of those things, I will process the reimbursement and get it all back to you.
So few people do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought Bill had said his hotel was paid.
Yeah, so Bill emailed me all of his, the receipts for everything, so I have him.
Now, was his hotel paid for? Because when we got downstairs, I thought Bill had said his was getting covered, and I'm like, well, that's strange, because they asked for my credit card, and I don't.
Occasionally, when you go to these conferences, what'll happen sometimes is when Cheryl calls to book the rooms, it tends to happen in Atlanta when we go, is they will put it all on CFA. And in order for purposes, CFA can't pay the hotel bill for everybody, even though obviously they have the money to do it. So they have to turn around and do it and expense it back.
That's
what
schools.
Correct. So that's why they have to do it that way. Because, obviously the easiest thing would be to do is that basically Team CFA rented out most of that hotel for them just to write them a PO and pay a check. But because of tax things, they can't do it that way. And then they have different programs, like Keon and I, believe it or not, have a different budget than the school.
Okay.
Like we have a certain budget number between us for our expenses for the year versus Joe's expenses for the board.
Got it.
It gets confusing.
Got it.
They provided us the conference grant that covers all the costs. So you submit the reimbursements to me, that I will, because we already have the money in our account.
Okay. All right.
They've already paid up front. It's just a reimbursement.
Yeah, it was just waiting for you to get the money there, Joe.
Just to let you guys know, John Bryan is really excited about the school. I'm sure he's told Joe in person. He told me at the conference that they're very excited to be in Indianapolis still, and they have really great not only for this place, but for other institutions around the state. So he wants to have along you guys. Yes.
Yeah. Conference, so.
It was very good.
It was very good.
That's very well.
Yeah.
I was spoiled.
Done for an extra.
Yeah, they fed us a little too well. Yeah. All right. So is there new news or anything else that we want to bring up?
Have we ever about getting a monument sign around the building? A sign, like a built monument, this is our school, as opposed to that nylon thing we've got. Is there that?
Like a school sign?
Yeah.
They're expensive.
There. How much?
I've seen them as cheap as like $5,000, some as much as, yeah.
Wood sign or something like solid out.
When you drive by and you say, oh,
the school, put something at the.
Well, we're setback, so I don't know where we can put it, I don't want that to be attached to the
Or
building.
on top of the building or something.
Yeah.
I mean, you're limited kind of.
When the parking lot's done, we can put something there.
That would be a good idea, I like that. Something on top of our building?
You have a really good view of the city. I've been up there.
Something about, like, an old water or something.
Yeah, it's right back there.
Is it, they wanted to paint it, could we make it, paint our sign on that?
It's a historical landmark, so I don't know what.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Is this a normal building?
No,
I don't think this is, no.
they wouldn't let us demo. You see the structural integrity over there.
I was thinking if it was, maybe we can get it, there's, historical drawings.
Yeah.
Okay.
So mine really is, Joe, if you need anything from the board as we approach, weeks from now or so, as we up and get ready for opening day, is there something in particular that you need from us? Assistance to get the word out. I mean, what do you do?
Yeah, anything anybody can do to get the word out about the school. I think one of the biggest things, like on the prior action checklist, pulling all the permits and things like that, because most of them are on file. So it's all you might be able to.
I'm down in that office alone.
Yeah, if you can flip through that list and pull the permits. Most of them should be on file. If there is something that's not.
You can phone file into the project.
I would assume.
I would think so. Usually, I think that you often pull them by address, can't you?
You can pull by address, we'd have to have them transferred to us as the permit holder, and that cost isn't gonna be much, and I can just submit it to you next month or something. If it is much, I'll let you know. Otherwise, I'll take care of it.
The permits and the lease and the other things that are being, need to happen in the next 2.5 weeks is that the sooner they can get done, I think the more peace of mind that I will personally have, because if evidence that the school is zoned for students, you will have to delay. And it might be a week, it might be 2 weeks, but you will have to delay. If you don't have a lease signed, you will have to delay. And what happens in school today, in our experience, is that they lose their enrollment, which then impacts your bottom line. So I just want to emphasize how important it is to have all of the ducks in a row. The chart that we've signed says that this will be substantially complete. So there are certain things that we can let slide a little bit, but things like the lease and the permits happen. I just want to be really clear with the expectation that the sooner that happens, the better. Because, for example, if you're missing a permit and you get out until August 15th,
right,
not opening until after we have the permit. So, just sooner the better on that.
It should be on that checklist.
Yeah, we need to figure that out sooner or later. I love Charlie, and he's got some fun town, but.
Yeah, I know the.
We gotta make sure the permits are done.
Well, I can call the director.
Yeah.
Right now, I know people down there, but I just want to make sure that
It's been the very last page, maybe the second to last, top of the second to last page.
Yeah.
Do you guys, Joe, do you need anything from CCFI at this point?
I mean, maybe it doesn't have a certificate of occupancy.
Absolutely. So there are certain things that apply and don't apply, and what we do, because I don't know what is the requirement for each individual county, is I usually, for Marion County, talk to the mayor's office, because they do business only in Marion County. And then in other places, I call the city council.
Looking at if we're zoned proper for school, commercial zoning, whatever we need here, then there's not a separate permit for that. I mean, it would just showing you a zoning.
Yeah, we need the zoning application.
I can, give me a week, I'll get all this information.
In reality, usually list with documentation of 4 or 5 things that are applicable, but be done.
Yeah.
So probably the next biggest thing, second one, then will be the,
leasing of insurances.
Yep.
Those things. That'd be there from the board, so that's the only other thing.
So when the document comes around for signature, we just, because it probably will, right, electronically, will it come around for signature on the list of assurances, or
You
just
just
sign?
sign it.
Okay, that's fine, yep.
Do we wanna set, and I know we're all busy, but do we wanna set a special meeting before opening? We can just get it on
I
schedule.
think that's a good idea, get on the schedule now,
Get
and
it
then,
warm here if we need it. We might meet and decide to go to a bar, but if there's
Yeah.
stuff left.
Sure, when do we think we wanna do that? I think probably next week, maybe too early, but,
2 weeks. I would say the first week of August, because let's pretend for a moment that we don't have a permit or something, that still gives us.
like the 28th, or the week of the 4th, so we open up the 4th, actually, we're looking at the relay the 28th, the
Why
week
don't
of
we
the
just keep it
28th.
on Wednesday and do it on Thursday?
Let's do it, yeah.
It's 2 weeks from now is the 30th.
Sure, I have conflict, and so does Charlie.
Okay.
We're on another board that meets that day at 5. I mean, 7, right, our meeting ends at 6:30. Tuesday
I
would
hesitate
work.
to do Thursday, because then we make a decision that we've only got one day to get anything done.
Yeah, we can do the 29th. Do that, 29th at, same place?
Joe, you have a calendar?
Yep.
Plan?
Yeah, I'm sorry, we can see if I can think of at this point.
And,
Or just work.
I don't know, I can't think of anything right now. That will come through. Oh, I do wanna ask, I don't know if you guys know the question is or not,
Find out.
the, $1,000 startup
Try.
loan, when does that hit?
Probably once you get the lease, to be honest, it's probably once the lease is done,
Okay.
then they have their, but I'll double check. Sometimes doesn't know what the right's doing necessarily, so.
That's okay, I mean, we're not in that
No,
situation.
right, but you, like, it's,
Yeah.
yeah. As a board, is there anything, we talked about at the conference, is there anything, I think we kicked around the idea of doing music planning, if we could convince John to do it, I'm still interested in, we don't have to make a decision today, I just know my radar, because we do have a bunch of resources available.
Yeah.
From CFA for the most part.
I like it, it's a great, it's free, yeah, very much.
Yeah, I mean. Even if we put Fisher up in a hotel or whatever and pay for his flight, I think it's still, unless someone has some local they would love to use, and, there was a strategic planning place across the street, well, it makes sense to use them, but if John Fisher loves to do it, and he's pretty good with it.
Yeah.
And most of the things are boring most of the time, so.
I like this stuff, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I think it'd be helpful.
I mean, we did the same thing in the governance committee just for the entire year. We kind of did that thing all day. And he's
Yep.
really good at that. So.
Yeah, that would be good. I'm wondering though, that would probably be more than a meeting, that might even be.
We have to do like that on
like
a
a weekend
Saturday
or
or
retreat, that's
something.
exactly what
Right.
I'm thinking, that's
Right.
probably gonna be that.
So, I'm moving to Chicago, so maybe we wait until it's closer, because if we do have to front this airline ticket, it's cheaper than Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm on the train.
You
got to a megabus ride. So, but as a reminder, if you guys need anything from CIA, call Keon, we can find out most of the time. Properties I have nothing to do with, that's a Rupert question, but,
Okay. Yeah, maybe even bouncing around dates as to when he thinks he'll be in Chicago and moving that, because it will be Saturday, I think as much advance notice we can give to everybody, get maximum participation
right.
would help. So, the thing is, Joe, would you mind sending us numbers next week then, maybe midweek in terms of where we are with enrollment?
Yeah, sure will. The number's 106, we don't have 6 of the packets, so I didn't put that on the official number, because we don't have ours yet.
One of you're not required to add to your agenda, but you're strongly encouraged, is CFA likes a spot on the agenda to talk about network.
Oh, yeah,
things.
thank you for reminding me, because,
Yeah. There's no update, because nobody's having class right now, but next time they'll, basically for those that have been on the CFA, been affiliated CFA school, like, if this school does really great on that, they tell the whole network, they want the competition. So if one school's doing really well, they want to come in here and say, well, Lake Blurt is, you saw at the conference how excited some of those schools are to do that.
Yeah. Actually, with the testing, that is an area that, I am not familiar with testing and stuff. I would actually, and I know that was a resource, that is something that I would really like to get instruction on, because I truly couldn't.
I did not, look, I was on the CFA's board for 3 months and didn't have a clue on what they were talking about when they were talking testing data, and they send the board reps to it typically, and she had a whole half day on, this is what your statistics mean, and they're supposed to come back and tell you how to do it.
Yeah.
We can definitely get her either if you want to explain, or she'll do it. Yeah.
She's actually coming the Thursday and Friday of our first week of school, just to come through and make sure everything's up.
But in terms of board data, to
Right.
So we won't have anything until, we're actually doing our testing starting the second week of school.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. So we've got testing second week of school, and then a test on that, like the face.
Are you doing 4 or 3?
Three.
Yep.
And then when's the,
It'll correspond with
Okay.
with the trimesters.
and then at the end of the year, and I think it'd be helpful to understand, is what CFA is looking at the same data that the state looks at? Because I'd like to understand a little bit of the state data, because surely that's just gonna keep our doors open. I need to understand.
The good news is if you're performing moderately well under CFA's thing, you're besting the state with flying colors.
Really?
They're
That
pretty
testing
aggressive on what you want.
is more rigorous in general. So one of the things that we're going to be offering this year is just a short kind of review of the accountability plan and the metrics that we look at and assess you on a yearly basis, as well as what your goals are to be in that year 4 when we're making renewal decisions. So I'll talk to Joe and probably it would be good maybe more mid-year or once all of the opening kinks are worked out. The other thing I wanted to say is that, you guys know Joe, but he has been really, really easy to work with, and responsive, and so I think that, I'm making no judgments outside of my own individual interactions with him, but they have been very good. I can't say that.
The other thing for you is, you've done such a good job on this when we do as a rubric that we grade the schools on, when they grade academic and governance and all this stuff. Since you've done all this stuff, I tell you, you're going to pass the governance rubric, no problem, because you have all this stuff. There are other schools in the network that do not. So, looking for state, doing a fabulous job so far.
Well, it's specifically.
Good. I do. All right, guys. Well, if we don't have any other new news to discuss or any other matters, we adjourn this meeting at.
The conference information that you sent?
I am going to try to attend, a couple things in the morning.
To adjourn.
Why don't
I'm coming like about 10-ish.
I'll send you an email about that tomorrow, or tonight I get you.
Okay. Yeah, I just think it's, the more visibility we have and interacting with some of the other charter schools, maybe getting some other input, just like with the CFA. I think it helps, and I don't know if I'll be able to stay the whole time, but a little bit.
Yeah.
And this meeting is the mailing, so I'm good with that. I think just tomorrow, again, maybe there's new insights, new stuff coming down the pipeline from a legislative standpoint. I don't know what they're gonna talk about, frankly. But with that, we adjourn the meeting.
We gotta move to the
All in favor of the Aye.
Aye.